Bills, to me, are one of the most fascinating studies on offense in this league. They've got the most physically gifted quarterback in the league. I don't know the reason why they choose not to throw the ball. Maybe they don't like their receivers. But with the most physically gifted quarterback in the league, they're not a passing team. They don't throw the ball down the field. In fact, they don't want to throw it a whole lot in terms of volume unless they're forced to. But that's not the way they choose to play. And I give Aaron Kromer, their O-line coach, who's been doing this. You probably know Aaron. He's been doing this for 25 years. Absolutely one of the best in the league. Their run game is so good. It's so multiple. It's specific to the opponent. I mean, last week against the Steelers, Cook and Davis had 41 runs combined, Colin. They did not pull an offensive lineman one time.
Wow.
So it was all zone based. Yet we've seen them have that run game where they have the counter run game with Hawes and Gilliam, the fullback, and been successful through the year doing that. So they are very specific to the opponent in how they feel is the best way to attack. But this is a running football team, and they only really rely on Josh Allen when they think they need to.
Well, and they need to rely on Josh Allen a lot because in a lot of these key moments, they rely on Josh Allen. I mean, we've talked about this before very much, that these receivers for the Buffalo Bills have just not been good enough. They can't win any of their matchups. They can't consistently get schemed open. They can't get yards after catch, right? Like, so we can say, oh, well, they just need to throw the ball more. And it's just like, they're not good enough. And it's not Josh Allen's fault. We know that. And so if they can rely on the run game and be more run first, then yeah, that's what they need to do. And so it's great to see the Bills be able to lean into that and use Cook. I mean, I think the Bills are the number one rushing team. I think they're essentially tied with the Bears. The Bears are like 20 yards less than them or something for total rushing yards. What I'd love to see the Bills do, though, is be able to have Josh Allen feed off that run game more. And Josh Allen then use his legs more in a more aggressive way, but still keep him protected. Because I think still any of the times that they do have Josh Allen run, he will take a lot of shots, a lot of big hits. And I would love to see them play off with Josh Allen's legs more in that regard, if that's the offense that they want to run. Obviously, though, in so many of these key moments, in these big time moments, most recently on the more recent side, against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's like they needed Josh Allen to let it rip, and let it rip he did. But it's just their passing game has been so unreliable. You got players in and out of the lineup, untrustworthy receivers. Like it's just hasn't been their path forward. There's so many times that even when Josh Allen now does have protection, there's just nowhere for him to go with the ball, nowhere open. He's constantly trying to make a big play. Like, everything just kind of gets disconnected. Whereas when they're able to hand the ball off, that's how they get reconnected. And I do think Brady has done a good job of having the rushing attack fit the specific game plan for the team that they're facing, as Greg Cosell was essentially saying, how it's very dependent on who they're going up against, which is smart. That's how it should be. Take note, Philadelphia Eagles, Kevin Patullo. So I think those are all pros right now. But it is so fascinating to me with the Buffalo Bills. The way how this season has unfolded, it seems like it's really difficult for people to have true levels of confidence in this Bills team. And I think losing to a young New England Patriots was jarring for them. Getting rocked and rolled by the Miami Dolphins was, jarring for them. Just having a collection of games where you're just like, in a way that, like, when Josh Allen and the Bills played terribly against the Houston Texans last year, or getting rolled by the Baltimore Ravens, didn't feel as existentially damaging to them. Whereas this time around, it feels so much more damaging to them. Which is kind of interesting because both seasons even had like a Josh Allen special, 6 touchdowns, right? Scoring a ton of points, like rolling, et cetera, et cetera. They had it against the Rams. They rolled the Detroit Lions. They lost to the Rams in that one game, but you still were kind of like, man, can this offense just get after it? Josh Allen, right? MVP, had all the momentum in the world. Whereas this year, it doesn't quite feel that way. They're also not winning the division, obviously. They lost to an actual division rival, and not like the Jets or the Dolphins here, but like a rival who there people are like, this might be the best team in the AFC, and the Bills lost to them. And so it's just a weird time right now. It's a weird situation. And as Greg's saying, like, they're the most fascinating offense to kind of unpack right now and to kind of look at, and how they have the most physically gifted quarterback in the NFL with Josh Allen, and they're seemingly not even consistently able to unleash him with any degree of consistency or an impact that really elevates. It's more like mitigating any of the weaknesses more than anything. It's helping elevate the floor, not elevate the ceiling. And that's a lot of times what they're asking Josh Allen to do, is just to kind of smooth out the cracks a little bit. And it's frustrating because that's where you were able to see the Chiefs be so great over these years, is that they could have Mahomes smooth out the cracks, but then also with Andy Reid, with the pieces around him, also be able to elevate the ceiling, also be able to be like, they have, Mahomes maybe be a Superman every once in a while, but it's not just to save the day, it's to conquer the day. Whereas Josh Allen is consistently relied on to just save the day and not conquer the day. And what does that mean for this season? I don't know. And going up against the Bengals is going to be really, really interesting right now. Honestly, like that game, especially when it was with Flacco or Jake Browning or something, you're like, okay, that's an easy game right now. But like the Bengals with Joe Burrow, I don't know if T. Higgins is back now with a concussion, but Jamar Chase at least should be there unless something happened. But Joe Burrow will still be able to get to work. And I don't know. These games still really, really matter, because the Bills would technically be at risk for missing the playoffs. Now they have the head-to-head tiebreaker with the Kansas City Chiefs, which goes a long way. But if the Chiefs beat the Texans and the Bills lose this game, like you're a game away from each other. And again, because of the tie, that definitely or because of the tie-breaking rules, the Bills, that definitely obviously helps them significantly. But it's just like, it's not like the Bills are set in stone here. They got to go up against the Eagles as well. Like there's games that could get a little wonky where you could kind of be like, oh man, who's the 7 seed right now? Who's the 8 seed right now? And like, if the Texans beat the Chiefs, they got the head-to-head against the Bills. So like in a weird way, you almost want the Chiefs to beat the Texans, because it's like if anyone's going to tie with you, it may as well be the Chiefs, because then you have them in the tiebreaker. So like, just a weird situation. You got to play the Patriots again. There's some tough games here. And so going up against a clearly imperfect Cincinnati Bengals team, who are also trying to play for their playoff hopes right now, and it technically is still possible for the Bengals because of who the Steelers and the Ravens are right now. So Joe Burrow's going out there, and he's going to be, hunting. And the Bengals also literally have nothing to lose. So, they're in a position to be hyper aggressive and just go, 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 go. If it's the first quarter and they're on their own 30, like, it's not hard to imagine. They're like, whatever, Joe Burrow, go ball, Jamar Chase, 50 yards down the field, let it rip, let's go. Like, that's just what happens. I'm not obviously predicting that, but I remember that one commercial in the NFL like years ago. It was like, the most dangerous team in the NFL is the team that has nothing to lose. And it's true. I mean, it is true. I mean, it really is. The most dangerous team is literally the team that has nothing to lose right now. And especially if you have Joe Burrow there with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, etc. Like, that's, so this is, I think we're going to continue to learn a lot and solidify a little bit more about this Buffalo Bills team right now. Like, the Bengals defense is obviously not this great world-beating defense, although you can make the argument that they've gotten a bit better over these weeks. But yeah, this game, weirdly enough, has a ton at stake here for both teams, honestly. But considering where the Bengals are at right now, like, this game shouldn't mean that much, and this should be a game that the Bills can easily control and win. Yet I don't think there is that actual strong sense, even though they're favored 5.5 at home, which is like that's a healthy line considering it's Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. But obviously this team has been a mess, and again, Joe Burrow hasn't been in the lineup, so it's a lot harder to evaluate. But yeah, this team still has the ability to like hang a lot of points, as we saw even with Joe Flacco. So it's gonna be an interesting game. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills taking on the Cincinnati Bengals? How do you make sense of the Buffalo Bills offense and how it's constructed right now, what the execution is? Got a lot of weird comments throughout the course of this season with Cook, trying to pit Cook against Josh Allen, saying that this is not Josh Allen's team, it's Cook's team. Like, just weird, bizarre comments that I'm not even get into. I think I know why they're there, but it's just weird. It's just kind of like, grow up already. Curious what you guys all have to say. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.